and welcome to Heroes and Hooligans for Monday Night Mayhem, where we are returning with Delirium, the main campaign, after our glorious winter break that we had. We're on Season 3, Episode 12. After a long break, Scrimmy is going to give us a very delightful recap. Right, Scrim?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right. So on our last session, we were in the small village called Bonesaw Village, where we all kind of just rekindled and got together trying to remember things. Scrim and Grand had a moment of friendship bonding, and Grand passed Scrim a token to allow Scrim to communicate. They later, in the inn, came across to meet a wealthy young dragon lad, which Scrimmy, of course, as per his usual, offended with sausages, trying to befriend said dragon man. We were told his name was Reginald. He wasn't sure whether he'd come with us, so Fiora intervened, as per usual, and stepped in to de-escalate the situation, apologizing for me being a psychopath. And then we decided to accept Sir Reginald, who we now know as Kale, into our group because we're going to go fight demons. Kale also hates demons. We ended up going to a few shops before heading out on the road, picked up some books. Then I apparently slipped into the ethereal plane, disappearing altogether. We are now traveling on horseback out of town through a eerie swamp where there's rotting trees covered in moss. Upon hearing screams, the team approached a site of what appeared to be slaughtered merchants, where Fiora stepped in and used some disgustingly magical powers to help us figure out what happened by seeing it in the eyes of the dead. We, out of the corner of our eyes, during this investigation, seen what appeared to be a blood knight fleeing. We are now standing, waiting to decide what, as a group, we are going to do with these bodies.
Yeah, so the takeaway from that is don't offer your sausage to people you don't know because it could be misconstrued, right? Right. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, so you're standing in this portion of the swamp surrounded by carnage and slaughter, trying to figure out what you're going to do from here. I think it was a little bit of a mixed review on the situation, where some of you thought maybe we should go report this, and others of you say that probably could be bad for us. People might think that we did this if we go and do that. And one of you with some exceptionally keen senses hears the sound of hoofbeats, and it's not singular or, even maybe two horses. It sounds like a lot of horses heading your direction, from the direction you're heading in. So, that being said, let's do this. What are we doing?
Well, Scrim thought we were going to be moving these bodies for some reason, so he has his hands around the ankle of a dead merchant whose face appears to be completely torn to shreds, and is dragging him into the woods. And what are you guys doing?
So Scrimmy is tampering with the crime scene. I love it.
Yep.
As we hear a bunch of horses coming our way, correct?
Only Loki hears them.
Only Loki hears them for now because they're far enough off, but soon enough you'll all hear it if Loki doesn't tell you first.
Yeah, everyone will know. Loki will make the call out. Scrim, it's good you don't have fingerprints, but let's not do much body dragging, please. The fresh blood will be suspicious.
Hey, I don't remember which way we came from. I thought we were taking them to go tell somebody what happened.
Those hoofbeats you hear, do they sound like they're coming from up the Royal Road, in the direction we're headed, or from behind us?
From up the road.
Yeah, the direction you're headed.
Someone may be coming to check for these people right now.
Grand is going to go try to hide in the woods.
Oh,
You got it.
If you need me, tell Morgan. I've too much experience being a mage and being misblamed for others' crimes.
You're protected when you're with us.
Only as protected as my circle papers. Only as protected as you and my circle papers keep me.
We won't let anything happen to you.
Yeah, and as you're having this conversation, the hoofbeats are close enough now that everybody, even those of you who do not have very good passive perception, are able to hear it. And it sounds like a lot of hooves, like more than 10 horses worth of hooves coming your direction.
I'm even not trying to hide in the woods. I'm going to try to climb a tree and hide up there off to the side of the road.
That's as in the woods as you could get, Grand.
Okay,
just off to the side of the road.
Question to God.
The gods are dead.
Question to my God. So, do these bodies still look quite fresh?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna
Absolutely.
I'm gonna start yelling, "Oh my God, what is this?" And now that I hear the horses, I'm gonna act like we just walked up to this, and I'm gonna, in typical Scrimmy fashion.
I like it. I like it.
We did just walk up to this.
Exactly.
We did.
Helping out.
Like,
Give me a
any of us have
performance
weapons
check,
from.
Grimmy.
We got here 2 minutes ago.
Can Fiora help?
Yeah, I
and
want a
also
performance
scream?
from Scrim. Grant, your
And I'm gonna
stealth for hiding in your tree.
Yeah, I'm going to have Morgan fly up and find me a branch that I can push on as the help action.
Sure.
Oh, it's not great, guys.
Can Fiora help Scrimmy? Seeing the ruse happen, can Fiora take up the call too and give Scrim advantage?
It's a 12.
12 is good. 12 is, well, it's all right. 12's all right. What'd you roll, Scrim? Like, how low is your performance?
I got a
roll?
9. I got a 9, but I have a -1 to my performance, so I have an 8.
Ooh.
Good, I love it. Yeah, Fiora, if you want to aid in the performance, by all means. What kind of aid are you providing? Are you
Fiora's doing the same thing. Yeah, Fiora's jumping in. As soon as Scrimmy starts, oh my God, what happened? Fiora doesn't miss a beat and starts going along with it. High-pitched girly scream, blah, blah, blah.
All right, yeah. So, Scrim, you could roll again because you're getting the help action, which is an advantage. So go for it.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I got a 14.
-1 for 13 or 15 -1 for 14?
15 -1 for 14.
Okay, yeah, that's not so bad. That's not so bad at all. These dice. We haven't played in a while, so let's get my metal ones out.
I know, I'm playing with real clicky-clacky... never mind. You know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. All right, okay. So... Fiora plays the damsel in distress, Gran skedaddles up a tree, and Scrimmy is half alive old man having a conniption. What are the 2 more relatively sane members of the group doing, and the newcomer?
Oh, I'm one of. Oh, sick.
Well, I wouldn't call him sane. He does talk to eldritch beings.
Arthur
Oh.
being second on the sanity tier list is
That's
not what we expected today.
Rough. That's brutal.
Grand is quite sane. Hiding from the cops when you're very clearly a discriminated race is one of the sanest things you can do.
Well, you're
Especially in this
already
world.
taken care of. You've already
That's
done
why
your
you're
thing.
third on the tier list.
Yeah, it's the last remaining three of you. What are you doing during these shenanigans?
Well, Loki, I get it that they're making it look kind of suspicious, but when everyone gets here, we'll just say, "Hey, we didn't kill these people," and I think
Yeah,
that'll
no,
smooth it over.
we will be honest. They'll see our not blood-soaked weapons, and that will be more than enough to suffice. Because all of these wounds would have to be inflicted with more material things. Most of us just throw fire at things. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be. God, oh
I am
Fiora
going to turn
cuts her
into a
scream
little
short.
boy.
Did you want me to start something on fire?
no,
No, let's hold off for now.
Yeah. So about the time you're talking about fire, through the fog, you can now see a gentleman at the front, which Loki will for sure recognize as the Reeve from the village, who you had communicated with the very first day you were there, because you spent a handful of days there. You recognize the Reeve, and he has around 20 soldiers on horseback with him. And his face immediately pales upon seeing these 6 smashed carriages and dozen or so very dead, very mutilated bodies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know, right? Arthur will say if they're just staring at the bodies.
Reeve, I guess when they arrive, if they don't say anything to us first, I'll give just a simple acknowledgement of them being there, seeing as I assume we still remember each other.
You can definitely approach as if you remember.
Oh, I'm letting them. I'm not gonna ride my horse or do anything that looks like any form of aggression. I'm going to let them take control of the situation because we're doing terrible at that.
Yeah, so a couple of the soldiers immediately dismount and run towards a few of the mutilated bodies, clearly showing like visible signs of distress, and they're distraught as maybe they knew these people. And in their irrationality that they feel as they're like going over with this grief and such, they kind of look at you like, why have you done this? And you hear some exchanged mutterings, just not exactly the words. And then the Reeve says something along the lines of, arrest them. And
Along the line, though?
Yeah. Probably more words than that, but long story short, not caress them, arrest them. No caressings are happening. It's been less than 12 hours since a sausage was offered, and now you want to be caressed. I don't know what's going on here. But
for that, being arrested, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, so the remaining soldiers start to dismount and head towards the group of you that can be seen. They're not kind of like looking off in the trees or anything, and you have sort of the advantage of the fog, Grand, where you're up in the tree. Your vision is about half of what you can normally see because of this super thick, dense fog. But yeah, the guards, they start to encircle you and come towards each of you with a set of manacles.
I am going to send Morgan down to deliver the touch spell Greater Invisibility to Fiora.
That's fair. I was going to point out that Fiora is on her knees acting like catatonic and in shock. She's not, but she's protected.
Okay. Yeah, actually, everyone, if I could get a view of what everyone's doing as they're being arrested, that'd be great.
Loki is gonna try and get us not arrested. He's stayed on his horse. He's trying to talk to the Reeve and the soldiers at the moment.
Yeah, the Reeve sees through your performance.
We're telling the truth.
I mean, yes, in a
No, you're
very
right. You're so right.
exaggerated manner. Yeah, so he sort of sees through the performance of Scrimmy and Fiora, and they're not rough with you. They're not doing ACAB shit. They're just moving towards you with manacles brandished, and they're kind of a little standoffish because you're dressed as wardens, and it just kind of doesn't add up. But the Reeve said arrest you, so that's what they're going to do.
Your unsurety is correct. Just look at us. We have no blood on our hands. Our weapons are not drawn. There are no signs that we did any of this because we didn't. We just rode up this road a moment ago as well.
Well, we're going to take you into custody back to the village, and we'll give you an opportunity to sort of plead your case. But as the Reeve of Bonesaw, I have to do something about this, and you're here when we come upon this slaughter. So you're going to get a fair chance to fight for your innocence, of course, but...
Is harming the relationship that the Grey Wardens have been improving on recently a really good idea? Even if we're proven innocent, so there's not going to be any benefit to this. The damage will be done.
I understand that
I'd
Grey
like
Warden...
Holy. At this moment, while Loki is speaking, I'd like to cast Dominate Person on the Reeve.
Okay, Jesus.
From my spot hidden in the trees.
Big roll.
All right, what's the save?
Wisdom.
And what's the DC?
18.
Okay, good. I don't even have to get the modifier out. That's 18 on the dice. So, no dominations happening. He says, look, listen, I know you're Grey Wardens and you have a reputation to uphold, but in this very well could be a case of wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not discrediting you, but as you can see, some of these soldiers have loved ones here, and even Grey Wardens aren't above the law. So just come back to the village with me, make it easy. We'll talk it out. We'll figure it out. And if you're innocent, you'll be free to go. You know, I've got a cleric back in town that can Zone of Truth, and we'll figure it out from there.
I could. Zone of Truth is right here, if you want.
There's a grandstanding to be made of it. Well, here, and how about this? We are on duty. Take just me. Let the others handle our lodgings and make their way and make progression. That way, best of both worlds. We're not hindered. You get your chance to show that the law is being out and done and all that fun stuff.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion, and I'll say you have advantage on this because of your previously established relationship with the Reeve, Loki, that you can persuade him to just take you into custody rather than the entire group, that he can see, because he hasn't looked off for Grant or anything.
You got it. I rolled a 14 both times.
Okay, and what's your modifier to it?
0.
0, okay. So he will take a moment. He'll talk to the person you can clearly see is more decorated as like the captain of the soldiers. And he'll say, okay, here's the deal. I'll take you into custody, and the others just come back to the village and go to the inn, just sort of in case, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. I'll even allow you to ride your own mounts back in. Yeah.
They can handle mine. Whatever show that needs to be done, I'm happy to go along with it.
Well, it doesn't have to be a huge show because this looks very fresh, and some of the soldiers are around, like, already looking at and investigating things, and they can tell it's happened fairly recently. So I don't know if anybody else knows about it. I don't want to make an overly big deal about it in town just yet, in case there are others with loved ones here, but just come back. You can ride your horse back. Just, I'm going to take you at your word that you're going to come, willingly, and we'll deal with it more once we get back to the village.
All right.
Highly irregular.
Do you communicate this with the rest of the party? How does it go with everybody else?
Oh, unless the party's doing anything else at this moment, because that would be my actions of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let myself get manacled, and if I know where Grand went up into the tree, I will just look up her way and wink at her just to try and convey, like, all right, be okay.
You see an owl comes down and lands on your shoulder.
Oh, fuck! No,
you've met this owl.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't end up manacling you. Loki has worked out a decent deal. They just want all of you to come back, and Loki's going to go to the jail / courthouse / county hall thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll follow along. Owl on perch.
Oh, Arthur, hang on. I need some help getting the 2 extra horses we got ready to go. We're going to have to take our time. We'll be a couple minutes behind. You guys go ahead. We're coming. Did I say Loki? I meant Arthur if I said Loki. I was not talking to Loki.
No, I got you.
The Reeve kind of looks at Loki during this exchange because he's the one he has like the rapport with. Okay, well, you come with me, and I'm going to leave soldiers behind to bring the rest of your party.
Sure.
Sounds good.
And 2 go with Loki and the Reeve, and 18 soldiers stay back and wait for the rest of you to get on your horses and come back into town.
Fiora's going to get those of us visible. Sorry, go ahead, Chip.
I'd like to send a telepathic message to Scrimmy. Try to find out why so many rode this way.
And Fiora gets the group together and says something very similar and says, does anyone else find it weird that the Reeve just happened to be out here with 20 armed soldiers? Seems like a pretty big armed guard for a casual stroll through the woods.
I mean, they seemed distressed enough to find the bodies, but it is suspicious.
So Scrim is not going to look
Especially
at Grand. Scrim's not going to look at Grand, but Scrim is just going to like do a physical motion that I got you.
Yeah, I'm watching through Morgan's eyes at this moment, to be clear.
Oh, okay.
So I'm watching through the owl. You wouldn't know that, but I'm watching through the owl, talking through the tooth.
Oh, okay. So I'm just nodding my head
to nobody.
Silently. And at this time, I've already gotten up and kind of just composed myself. It's clear that my facade isn't working, so I'm getting my shit together.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if we need to, 2 of us can walk along with our horse and one of the extras. I'm not that worried about it. That was just a cover to relay what Chip also noticed, that it was kind of a heavy retinue for just a random stroll.
If it was a random stroll, I mean,
right. That's all we're saying is, hey, we're kind of curious why you happen to be out here with 20 armed soldiers when this happened to have happened. Seems kind of odd timing to me.
Do you ask any of the soldiers? Do you ask like any of the soldiers what they were doing or anything like that?
No.
Or do you just like communicate it amongst yourselves? Sort of.
No, I was specifically just keeping that amongst us, myself at least.
I feel like Scrim is going to like. I would be approaching Fiora, trying to keep the facade up without trying to like trick the guards, but like kind of just approach Fiora. This is really horrible that this happened. It's a good thing there's so many soldiers nearby. Maybe they'll catch them. And I actually do say that out loud. Just know, like, I'm not going to hint like I know who did it or what happened, but I'm just going to be like, hopefully they catch whoever did this.
It's a tragedy. This much death. Whoever is responsible will have to pay.
I agree.
I disagree. Honestly, once Fiora relays all that and we're all kind of back together, I would start prepping the horses and getting ready to just go back.
Yeah.
To the soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just Scrim's just saying that out loud. He's not like asking why they're all out there, but he's kind of being like, oh, it's a good thing there's so many of these soldiers out here, in hopes that one of them kind of overhears and like, you know what I mean? That way everybody in the group knows that we're all onto this. But yeah, anyways.
Okay. But yeah, then if we're ready, I'm ready to head back into town.
Yeah, we can head to town. I wasn't gonna like.
So everybody but Grand goes back to town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
All
right.
Grand is watching for them to have cleared like any sort of line of sight from here, and is seeing if like all the soldiers leave with the rest of their crew.
Most of them do. A few stay behind to continue sort of cleaning up the crime scene and such. About 5 stay back.
Okay. I'd like to guidance myself and then Misty Step to 30 feet up the road so I can approach as though I am coming down from up the high road.
Okay. All right, so the rest of you, Loki, you get back into Bonesaw first, and the Reeve takes you right to the council building. You don't have to be on above VTT, but the Bonesaw Village map is on above VTT. And he takes you to the see if I can see where it is on the map so I can tell you. The Ivory Clock Tower-ish area is where the sort of city building is. And he takes you inside, you park your horses outside, wrap your, reins around the wood pole that's out there, and he takes you in. And he doesn't cuff you, like he's pretty amicable with you about this whole situation, and he sits you down and gives you a chance to sort of talk to him about what's happened. So, he sits with you and says, tell me what happened so we can work this out.
Before that, did Fiora mention the site? Did we both catch the Blood Knight, or was it just Fiora? I'm remembering I missed it.
I relayed. I said something to you about maybe. I know I mentioned something about maybe it's not just a fairy tale, because that's what we thought when the bard told us the story. And I ate the brains and saw the things happen, and I'm pretty sure I relayed that to you guys. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone should have known that it was a big Blood Knight.
Yeah, I think you didn't visually see it. I think Fiora's the only one that really saw the full visual of the Blood Knight. I think you just saw the silhouette of somebody disappearing into the very thick, heavy fog.
Gotcha. I'm going to relay mostly the same thing that I said to them, that we had just arrived upon the scene. The heavy fog hid pretty much everything we could have seen. I'll mention that Fiora might have seen something heading into the woods, but we weren't fast enough to catch up to it or track it by any means. And for all we know, it may have been an illusion. And that is it, plain and simple. We rode up, we think we saw something, but we weren't really able to take it all in before they immediately rode in.
Yeah, and as he talks to you, he's one-on-one with you. He's had the guards sort of stay outside. He hasn't brought in the cleric for Zone of Truth yet or anything like that. But he just says, look, I don't believe this is your doing. I met you your first day here before I had to take my trip up into the city. Um, I don't really believe that this is your doing, but I don't know you well enough. It would just seem to me that you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
But I have to do something about it, or my reputation as the Reeve will suffer for not investigating. Um, you seem to be good and willing. I'll give you a chance to clear your name. If you'll help me solve this case, it'll all be forgotten. You'll be completely exonerated. In the meantime, though, I would need your valuables to be seized. They'll be held at the Boar's Tusk, which is the finest tavern that we have here in the village. Is this amenable, acceptable terms to avoid going to a trial?
Is the term yours related only to myself or the entire of my group?
Well, realistically, it should be all of you, but you're the one that I have this communication established with. I really, really don't know them. I assume you're going to have them helping you. So it would make me feel better if I had some sort of reassurance that you were all just going to take off and leave this mess,
Well, as you said, we were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm happy, as you said, to utilize that zone of truth. I know you want something taken care of. We are currently at task with our own duties. I'm only our vice captain. We could discuss with our current lead once they're all back in town, and I'm sure they're having a thorough discussion about this as well, about whether we have the timeliness to help. I'm more than happy to give up my things. I'll stay in town and do my best to assist, but I can agree to as much as I can control, which is myself. I won't make a decision on the behalf of everyone else without at least having their input.
Did you mention the Blood Knight to him at all when you were telling him the recount of things?
I think I would leave it as we saw something. Fior said they saw something, but we weren't sure what it was. I feel like saying Blood Knight is going to lead to an even worse scenario. Well, now DM hesitancy tells me I'm wrong, but I've already made my character choice.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, so he actually tells you, there's been some really interesting things happening in this region, which is why I took off to the bigger city to go and sort of talk to the people that are over this entire region, just not the village, my bosses, essentially. And I've heard some stories over the last week or so around the village, and I also heard some in my travels of other gruesome scenes happening. And I'm gonna level with you. You're a warden. You see unnatural things regularly, and a lot of these accounts feel very unnatural. So I think it's kind of in your wheelhouse, isn't it, to handle things of the unnatural variety? And he doesn't come out and say it because, like you, he doesn't want to sound like a kook. But at the same time, clearly there's something more to the unnatural term that he uses.
Yeah. Of course. We deal with freaks, phantasms, and everything else of that nature on the regular. Demons are our main focus and specialty. We've heard our fair share of fairy tales. We heard a great rendition of I don't know the title, but the Blood Knight story just the other night. And
so you're familiar with the account of the Blood Knight?
Moderately. I was falling asleep as the story was being told, but what I will say in my experience is that all fairy tales, real or not, usually have a bit more behind them. And by your tone of voice, if this supposed Blood Knight is out and about, I suppose it's a front to cover up the reality of the situation.
And I would have gotten away with it too. It weren't for you meddling kids and your dog.
We have a dragonborn, thank you.
We have an owl that could be a dog.
We have Scrim, basically
have a
the
doll.
same intelligence.
You have a dog. You do have a marionette or something along the lines. Yeah, so well, I'm not usually one to believe the embellished stories of a bard, but it's not the only individual who has told such stories. And usually with stories of that nature, like you said, something is going on, whether it's the actual spooky part of it or just somebody using it as a cover. But I would greatly appreciate the help. It was something we were going to reach out to the wardens about anyways, to see if they could send somebody to the area to kind of check it out. So
again, I will control as much as I can, which at the moment is myself. I'd be happy to support your case and summon more wardens on, but if my group decides that our current task is more important, it'll just be me here to assist, and I'm more than happy to do so and lead efforts until more wardens arrive and continue helping, but plain and simply, I'm not in charge.
that's fair. That's fair. I would think you were, because you're very articulate and handle things very well. But
that's why they handed me the permanent vice captain position, more of an advisor.
That's fair. Well, once your friends get into town, I'll send a note off to the tavern for them to come here to speak with you. But I would like it if you would remain here during the.
I'm within your hold until you deem the situation handled.
And I'm not going to cuff you and throw you in a cell or anything. You can hang out in my my library if you'd like. And he opens the door off the back of his little office that opens, and he's just got this like little closet of an office that opens into like a giant library.
I'd be happy to start my efforts here in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll send a note off.
Thank you.
And that you guys, how long do you think you waited around before you left after Loki had already left?
Just long enough to convey that things don't completely seem right.
So
Yeah,
probably
5
like
minutes.
5-10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you get into town pretty quick. So all of this conversation is happening by the time that they get into town, and the note is waiting for them at the inn. The Boar's Tusk. It's waiting there for you when you get there. A small page boy holding the note, waiting for a retinue of soldiers and individuals, assumes it's you, and runs up to whoever's in the front. Who of you is riding at the front of the pack?
Me.
Scrimmy,
You think
you're
Kale's
muted.
front?
Yeah. The rest of them would have hung back to have a little chit chat with themselves. I don't really know them that well, so.
Fiora would have included you in what she said for sure. If you ignored and didn't come, that's your choice. But like, she didn't exclude you.
Yeah.
We'll say Kale's in the front, though.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So the
that's
little
fine.
boy runs up
Fiora's
to you, runs up to your horse with a note and like reaches it up to you, and it's got an official like wax seal on the outside and all of that.
All right, okay. I take it like very gently from his hand and kind of toss him a silver as I open it, see what's written inside.
Yeah, and it's just a letter from the Reeve requesting your presence at the Ivory Clock Tower to speak with Loki.
All right, fair enough. I will inform the rest of the group and then make my way towards the Ivory Tower. They can do whatever they want.
That's fair. Gran, you come up on the group of people. There's 5 soldiers and all of the bodies littered about. As you sort of get close, one of the soldiers says, "You're going to have to go around, ma'am. Unfortunately, this road section is blocked off. You're going to have to step off into the swamp to get around. We're handling a crime scene here."
Are the bodies clearly visible from where I am when they stop me?
I would say they've got them kind of piled up together, not like on top of each other in an uncouth manner, but sort of like all gathered together, and they've pulled stuff over them so that they're not like visible, but you can see the wreckage for sure when you get up there. The bodies they've kind of gotten pushed off for modesty's sake.
I can see the busted carriages, but not the bodies, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh
They've
my,
taken the
what's
canvas
happened?
from the carriages. There's been an incident.
Is there anything I can help with? And I pull my papers out. I'm a licensed circle mage.
No,
perhaps
that's
I could-
okay. Just stay safe. Just stay safe.
If there's bandits roaming about, could I get an escort back to town? I was just out gathering some herbs and such. And
We'll be headed back here in a few moments. I wouldn't see why we couldn't take you with us.
yes. Here, and I pull a couple of herbs out. You look a bit weary. Here, try this. And I start handing out mint leaves. Just rub it under your nose. It'll help perk you up a little.
Oh, thank you, but I'll take care of it when I get back to town. He seems a bit weary of a self-proclaimed mage. Like, you come out and said I'm a mage, and he just seems a bit weary from accepting anything from mages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not in like a rude manner. He's very polite in his decline, but he's just no thanks, but no thanks. But it doesn't take them much longer. They use the canvases from the wreckage to cover the bodies, and they create a sort of hammock style sling, I guess would be the word, that they connect to their horses to be able to take them back, because they don't have like a wagon or anything. So they use the horses that they have. There's 5 of them, so they use 4 horses to sort of connect this hammock sling that they've made, and they place the bodies in it, and then they use another piece of canvas to keep them tarped over, and the one that's not connected offers you up onto his horse.
All right, thank you. When you get back in, when you report back to the Reeve, but please be sure to let him know I'm offering my services. I'm a licensed soothsayer. I can speak with the dead.
Yeah, I'll pass the information on. I appreciate that. And he helps you up on the horse, and they head back towards town. And he's very quiet along the way. He doesn't engage in conversation. If you speak to him, he's cordial in his response, but he seems kind of shaken up about it. And because you were watching before, you can see this is one of the soldiers who had somebody here that he was sort of distraught over. So it's just grief. So he's very quiet in that. And it doesn't take you long. You probably get back 15 minutes after everybody else gets back.
All right.
He drops you when you get into town. He takes you into town, and he says, "Would it be okay if you would you be fine walking from here to wherever you're going in town?"
Oh, I'm just headed back to the inn. I've got a room there.
Okay.
I've been here a few days.
So I'll drop you off at the inn. We've got to go by there anyways. And he does. He drops you off at the inn. where I'm not 100% sure if the party is still waiting at or not, because we haven't got that far. But he takes you, drops you at the inn, tells you to have a wonderful day, and him and the other 4 ride off to do whatever soldiers taking care of dead bodies do. The rest of you, Loki aside, after Kale reports the message, do you leave right away, or do you think to yourselves, Grand is probably not far behind, we should wait for her?
Oh, we wait for Grand?
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay, yeah, so you're still waiting. I'll say you're still there at the inn when Grand gets there.
Well, I can't say I love Loki being the one in custody, given his checkered past and his obvious criminal demeanor. I feel like he makes an obvious patsy, and I don't want them to think they can pin this on him if the guard really is involved in this. But I guess we should head the fuck over and find out. Is everybody ready to go?
Yep.
About to go file a grievance. Grievance, huh? Alright, let's get the fuck, let's go.
A grievance. Yeah, you kill me. Don, I know you were away from
you kill
computer.
us. Actually, that's how that works.
It was an accident, and the player asked for it.
I asked to be punished. I didn't ask to die.
You know what? Sometimes death is the best punishment.
Is it though?
In some societies.
I'm
anyway.
very confused how I missed that much in 10 seconds.
You didn't really miss a whole lot. Basically, Grand got back. Arthur said, I don't like Loki being locked up, potentially being used as a patsy. And you have the note.
What did the note say?
It just requests your presence at the Ivory Clock Tower to speak with Loki.
Yeah, we better get going. Captain, you in charge of this one? Who's talking to Loki or whoever we gotta talk to?
I might go ask around town a bit myself, since they didn't see me with you.
It's probably smart.
Hey?
And you're not wearing a warden's uniform, so you're not very clearly with the group of wardens.
Fully not a warden. Yeah.
Consultant.
Yeah, so you can head off into the village, and the rest of you head over to the Ivory Clock Tower.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Do we? We don't actually still have a room in the inn, do we?
We were leaving.
Yeah, I don't think you actually do still have one. No.
Emma Grand does though, or is she?
I think that was
Grand.
her.
I think she was just saying that.
I think
Yeah,
Grand's
I
just
think
a
that-
liar.
Yeah. No, fully.
All right.
Well,
Well,
so
Scrimmy was gonna try and tell Grand to take all of his shit to her room if we're gonna go get locked up right now.
I can take all of your things.
You just won't be
I'll
getting
keep a
them
very-
back.
I'll keep a very close eye on them for you, Scrimmy. We're friends. It's what friends do for friends.
I don't know about that. I'm not even Scrimmy, and it feels like a trap.
Just don't give another player your stuff ever.
If you
Right.
are on above VTT, the Boar Tusk Inn is number 4 on the map, and the Ivory Clock Tower is number 5. So it's just right down the main road there. Not hard to
Stone's
find
Throw.
if you haven't been there before.
5-minute walk.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's gonna happen. I'm sure if they're really gonna try and put us in jail, I don't think Loki will stand for that, and I don't think any of you would either. So I'm sure at that point there'd be a bit of a fight to get out. So I think it's probably better we keep our things with us.
Yeah. That's a good
Not that I'm hoping for that. I hope we can talk our way out. But what do you?
Then we don't have to pack again. I love unpacking, but packing makes me depressed. Let's keep it on us.
So, Scrim, how do you want to handle this? You gonna go in and do the talking? You want us to, like, good cop, bad cop? Wait, they're the cops here, right? We're the robbers, the murderers.
Yeah, you know.
Good murderer,
I
bad
think,
murderer.
I think I'll get in there and I'll just sit down and I'll focus really hard. And I think that I got this. I think I can figure this out.
I trust you.
I'm convinced.
Yeah, you got this, Scrim.
I just need to maybe have like a few seconds before I talk to them to just sit and maybe, not do anything at all. Nobody speak to me. Nobody touch me. Nobody look at me.
Smash cut to Loki's public execution.
I was gonna say, Fiora pointedly just turns away and does not speak to her or interact with Scrimmy.
You're the captain.
Yeah, so.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, go on.
No, are you gonna say it? Go ahead.
I'm desperately curious now, and am trying to steal some glances and find out what Scrimmy's doing in this private moment.
I literally am slipping into the ethereal realm, so you guys can't look at me.
Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. In that case, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm just slipping into the ethereal realm. I'm like, you guys leave me the fuck alone for like 5 seconds so I can think about things.
Okay. Do you guys imagine
Scrimmy's going into their quiet place.
Yeah.
Mind
I'm just gone. Poof. Into a cloud of cosmic realm.
I guess we should get going. Don't want to leave Loki hanging or something. Oh, bad choice of words.
Yeah.
We should get going.
Yeah. Do we can Scrimmy follow us while they're ethereal?
No, yeah, I'm already moving.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, let's do it.
Great.
I see ways to catch up.
Yeah, so you head.
I don't know where Scrim is.
Yeah,
It's not far, like I said.
Head upwards. The disappearing form of Kale in the distance.
Yeah,
No, you
it's
can
only
see them in the distance.
a couple minutes away. I mean, you're not far. You head over. You get to the building. You go in. There's a secretary, and she asks you, "Oh, do you have an appointment?"
We'll give her the note.
Scrim literally just pops up right there, like right behind you guys. I don't say anything. I'm popping right back up right behind you.
Okay. And Arthur gives her the note, and she says, "Oh, okay, this way." And she leads you to a small little office where she opens it, and it's very, very tiny. It's very packed with all of you in it. Once you're in the office, the Reeve is at his desk. He says, "Oh, your friend is in here." Opens a door to a massive library behind him where you could see Loki doing Loki things at a table in the library.
Stealing.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Borrowing knowledge, not stealing it.
You truly borrow knowledge?
Loki, are you keeping you okay over here? You're on
You're
mute.
muted, buddy.
I'm so engrossed in my books. Yes, everything's fine. Loki naturally heard you guys probably come into the building with how quiet it is in here, and stands up to turn to everyone. Since they took all of his things, you guys haven't seen Loki in like regular clothes, except maybe in day one, episode 1, when all of the original crew first met each other. And this may be the first time all of you realize how small he is. This man is 5'7", 150 pounds. Like, homeboy is a tiny guy in plain clothes now. Yeah, they said they sent a note. What all were you informed of?
To come here.
To come here and meet you.
That tracks with how much the Reeve is actually trying to do. All right. The situation is, the Reeve believes this is the Blood Knight as well, to kind of line up with Fiora's note. They would like us to help, and in exchange for helping, this will be forgiven and exonerated and forgotten, and I will be given leave of the city.
When you say forgiven, exonerated, forgotten, what?
The Reeve has us pinned for this, or at the very least, me.
How?
Man, I'm getting
That's the word of law. The word of I'm in charge, and my 20 soldiers found these people in front of bloody bodies, and it's nonsense. I know.
like I want to help, but like feel hey, you know what? That's why they don't pay me the big bucks. Captain, what are your thoughts on this?
Why are you naked?
They took me of my belongings, as they do
have-
when people are arrested.
They stripped thee.
I stripped myself and handed off my things.
Also, he's not naked. He's wearing clothes. Do you understand what naked is?
Scrimshaw has only seen me in my cloak and armor. They've never seen me in anything else.
You seem naked.
In my robe and wizard hat. This is unacceptable, and I shall not stand for this.
I made it very clear that I wasn't the one in charge, and that you all may choose to move on with our current mission objective, while I remain here to do further assistance and maybe call more Grey Wardens.
What assistance do they request of you?
They want their fairy tale found, or whatever the cause of these gruesome scenes are. They mentioned a couple other occurrences in the area.
I mean, I think we should help. I feel weird about the situation they have us in, but what do you all think? What else?
I feel like we should get something other than forgiven for something that the bastard knows we didn't do.
They have us on the Grey Warden line that this is our jobs, despite it not really being a demon, or we know that it's a demon. Not to mention, 2 of us aren't even Grey Wardens just yet.
Exactly. I could leave at any moment.
All right. So, giving the Reeve the benefit of the doubt in that he's an extremely nice gentleman who's maybe not great at his job, I'm happy to help out and get the fuck out of here so we can continue on our mission. What choice do we have if they're going to hold us?
It's just me. It's just me. The choice is to continue on. We have a mission at stake.
Yeah, but if they would hold you here,
I mean, we don't have to let them.
we can't do that.
We have the Grey Warden reputation has been improving ever so slightly. With, I would say, at least of our group's deeds. It's best not to tarnish it. I know 2 of you care not for that since you're not members, but that's why I wanted to leave the option of all of you to keep going. 2 of us are not obligated to help in any way, shape, or form.
I think after the 3rd time saying 2 of you is when Loki notices the conspicuous absence of Rand.
Oh, Loki notices the absence, but still respects that you're a member of the group, but not taken after your father quite as much as to be a member.
It's Loki. You noticed the moment we all went into the room.
Yeah, I know when all of you are breathing at all points of time. I know your current resting heart rates, and I will now list them all in numerical order. Not really.
I'm waiting.
0, Scrimmy.
Yeah, actually,
I was going to say same.
It happens occasionally.
I have to get in there and do it myself, and I forget most of the time.
Yes.
Well,
while you're chatting, the secretary, she's a small gnomish woman. She comes in with a tray of tea and cookies and sets it down on the table in the library near you. I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to offer refreshments, and she just doesn't give you a chance to speak. She turns and skedaddles away.
I'd like to insight check the drinks.
How truthful
By all means.
How truthful is this tea and cookie set?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to have any.
Yeah, Fiora just ignores them.
I also ignore it.
I'm the only one that doesn't then, apparently.
I would like to, through Morgan on Arthur's shoulder, cast Detect Poison and Disease.
By all means. Cast a spell. Take the spell slot.
This iced tea has COVID.
It's hot tea. It's chamomile tea with a a little container of lemon wedges and a container of like sugar cubes, and they are homemade snickerdoodle cookies. No poison, no disease, there's no rat poisoning or anything in it.
Chamomile.
There's no traces of anything magical in terms of ingredients, anything that's used for shenaniganry. It's just hot tea and cookies from a little elderly woman who maybe feels bad that you're there.
I mean, if there's no rat poison, there's no flavor.
Yeah. Morgan just says, "Brick," and nods.
See? Poison.
Thank you, bird.
Goes over, flies over and eats a cookie.
Yes, bird.
Yes, I'm very in tune with birds. Puts cookies in pocket. And tea.
Actually, Scrimmy gets the message. The cookies and tea are safe.
Yes.
Fear still doesn't take any.
I'm
Take
putting
like
them in
a
my pocket.
handful of cookies and just shove them in my giant mouth.
Well, Loki, your commitment to self-sacrifice is admirable, and Moriel keep you if you end up bearing the brunt of whatever this crime is. But I feel like unless the captain feels differently, we're all in agreement that we're going to stay and help you out of this.
We can't allow this young lad shoves a snickerdoodle in my mouth.
Did anyone get that?
Something about how prison's likely a familiar environment, so we shouldn't worry too much. And I do agree, Captain, for Loki, but I think we should still try and stay and help.
Besides, it'd be fun to take on a blood knight.
Any of you who are like near the tray of tea and cookies that are actually like engaging in it, you find underneath the plate of cookies is a piece of parchment.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, well, I would definitely pick that up.
That's not a napkin, is it? I might need one of those if I start eating.
No, if you pick it up, and whoever picks it up and you start reading over it, you start to read over a reported attack from what is described as the Blood Night, happening near the fisherman's camp at the mouth of the Northwestern River. And it's the sort of accounts of that attack.
I'm just going to call into the next room. We could just collaborate on the case like normally. You could just come in. We could talk.
I will hit you on the head to show
we
you.
could have a meeting. This is weird.
The Reeve kind of like pokes his head through the door. I just wanted to give you privacy, hearing you speak to him.
All right. Thank you.
I get the impression with how very nice guy the Reeve is playing, they are either ridiculously inept at their role, or they really do just like to watch and let other people do all the work.
All right.
I'm not here to judge if you like to watch.
Who watches the Watchers?
Reading over this report, does it sound? It sounds pretty identical.
Yeah, it's a very gruesome account of murder and the mention of the Blood Night as well, and kind of where it happens.
How long ago
It doesn't
was this?
seem like whoever took the initial report took it very seriously at the mention of the Blood Night. Sort of that, how Loki called it, fairy tale sort of mindset. So there's not a whole lot of details aside from reported attack from the Blood Night at the fisherman's camp at the mouth of the Northwestern River.
And the
No
bog and the
mention
log.
of. Luckily, there was a group of good-hearted adventurers nearby, so we arrested them, pinned the crime on them. They're in prison to this day. Nothing like that.
No, that's right at the bottom here in the addendums.
All right,
No,
great.
none of that's on there.
Wait, so the Reeve left? He's not in here with us, or was that his secretary that said she wanted to give us privacy?
No, the Reeves office is right up against the library, and hearing Arthur holler like, "Hey, we could talk about this." He just pops his. He doesn't leave after he says, "I just wanted to give you privacy." He just peeks his head in and kind of waits for a yes, come in, or absolutely fuck off sort of communication. Kind of lingers there for a moment after saying, "I wanted to allow you privacy." Knowing that Loki had to speak with you first about this before he gives out the details of any, crimes and such.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah?
Considering we're going to be working together or something. What were you doing out there with 20 armed soldiers?
I was making my way back from the town up the King's Road. The day after I met Loki, we took off up to the town to talk about some of the attacks that had been happening in the area, and we were making our way back. We've had several reported incidents, and as Loki and I discussed, usually things that are fairy tale-esque have some real life things going on behind it, so we needed to make a report. I'm just the Reeve of the village. I have a boss, so I needed to report a crime wave essentially to my boss, and we were headed back when we came across you.
I can't ask that. That's too rude.
So we have 2 crimes.
I mean, you can incite him if you'd like, if you're worried that he's not telling you the truth, by all means.
I'm not worried that he's not telling the truth. Fiora's trying to find a way to get his boss's name without being rude, and I can't figure it out.
And who might you report to? It might be best to partner with them and get them in touch with the Grey Warden leadership. If this is that big of an issue.
I was up at the castle, whose name Huli is going to say very terribly because I don't speak a lick of fucking French. Lamschenauer?
That's it. You nailed it.
Can we get it typed out? Can we get it typed out?
Type it out for us.
Type it out. One of us.
So
you won.
So you and Lame Shower.
Lame Shower.
Limjawa.
Limburger?
This is the name of the castle.
You're working with the castle.
Sentient castle. It's not the weirdest thing I've seen.
I mean, we just met talking animals all on our own.
Reeve, do you smell burnt toast?
Blink twice for no.
Do you have double vision? Are you okay?
Breathe if yes. Recite the readings of Morio backwards if no.
I think the only person in this entire realm who could do that would be Arthur.
Yeah, no, Arthur's fine. Lamb's d'honneur.
I was speaking with the constables at the castle. That's not my direct boss, but the ruler of the castle is. So I went to report because it would look very bad on me had I chosen not to report a string of murders in my region.
Could we have their name by chance? If we make this report, there's a chance that our leadership may wish to get in further touch.
Yes, you can once I flip through my notes to go find the name of the person who's there.
You don't know your boss's name? You have to flip through your Rolodex?
Yeah, this is Huli speaking. Yep.
I know. I know. I picked up way too much sassiness from my Wednesday character.
You're supposed to be the one that doesn't give me heartburn at the end of a session, Loki, so how about you just go?
Well, welcome to season 2.5, Loki. He's a bitch now.
Going through the sassy era.
3.5.
And Reeve,
out of character, we're reporting this man, correct?
Loki is genuinely curious and wants to put it in the report detail, seeing as he might end up being here. I know everyone seems like they're going to help, but I don't want us to get cooked by being stuck in this town.
Yeah, I would guess L'Homme d'Honneur.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
Like donor.
S's tend to be
Donor,
silent.
yeah.
Dana, as according to Google Translate, which apparently means Blades of Honor,
There we go.
which is a
Knew it was
weird
something
name
of
for a
honor.
castle.
It's a fucking sick name.
That
Yeah,
Um,
just out of character. Yeah, Fiora wanted the name so we can report this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're planning to report, why don't we just kill him?
Well, I don't
Because
know.
we're not criminals anymore.
Hey, Chaos speaking for themselves. They're
All
an
right.
un-Grey Warden.
Yeah,
criminal.
exactly. I'm talking about me. You don't know
He
my character.
tells you the name of the king of Cheernault, which I will type in the chat before
got you.
I
It's-
say it.
Stephen Chernow.
Tybalt de Sauveterre.
Yeah, I have it here. I'm typing it out now.
Tybalt.
Sir Tibby, you say?
So
Tybalt.
it'd be Sir Sauveterre. It'd be His Majesty
Theobald de
Sauveterre.
Sauveterre.
There you go. King
I'm
Suave
Tybalt.
Suave potato.
I
if
mean,
you
like
would.
soft earth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's who is
I
the
definitely did not spell that right the first time.
Why does French have to be so stupid?
I don't speak French. It's one language I never even picked up and tried to learn.
I tried and just gave up.
But he does tell you King Tybalt is his boss. He's the ruler of Cheernault, and he's just the reeve of this little area, essentially like a duke in charge of a duchy, right? Same kind of concept. So he went and reported it there.
Loki will look to Scrim. Are we engaging with this?
Not naked, you're not.
Again, does this one know what naked means?
I feel like it's like a relative naked. Scrimmy is very abstract. in
This is the
thought.
closest to my true soul that Scrimmy has ever seen. I have layers that protect me from it most of the time.
Ah, so you're an onion. Got it.
Yeah, you do look kind of frail like this. I would rather get you back. And
You won't. You know, it would.
safer.
It's gonna blow your mind, Arthur. I'm always frail.
Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love it. But you seem less so.
Why do you? That's why I go to grab my crossbow to make a point, but I haven't been without it in so long. That's why I usually have something that I can sit very far away from the fight with.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I don't know. Kitted out with a big book strapped to you. It's a little more normal. Just feels out of place. Anyway, Reeve, while we're in town, while we're assisting with this, if you need us to pick up any of the slack from your men, just let us know. I would understand. It was clear some of them knew the victims of the crime scene, so if any of them need to take bereavement, we would be available.
Yeah, that's very kind of you. That was just the contingent that was traveling with me. There are others here that are capable of managing. I appreciate the offer. If there's anything that I need, I'll let you know.
Reeve, I guess I might be unclear. Our friend here can help us, right? Can he have his things back?
Yeah, if you're choosing to help and such, of course, I'm not gonna send him out to gather information and things completely
No, this-
unequipped.
The sooner Loki's back with us, the sooner this Blood Knight gets revealed, I think.
Yeah, by all means, if you're choosing to take the help route instead of wanting to kind of go through the legal battles of getting
You have
out,
our
you know.
enthusiastic
please.
affirmative consent that we are helping with this mission. Please,
Yeah,
please
we
stop
don't-
playing the.
we don't have time to. We don't have time to work the case and review all the legal notes involved in whatever your proceedings in Bonesaw are. I think we're going to help.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want it to be almost naked out in public. That's extremely immodest.
These
But
are
why
perfectly
don't
normal
we-
common clothes.
They're really
that
not.
was that was me being a smartass.
We can call this into the wardens too.
I mean, you can do that as well.
Yeah,
However
I don't
you
know if we have a
go
fair.
about it.
We're more of the demon department.
Reeve, are you aware that like only like half of us are wardens and we're all like green recruits? We've been with them for like a month and a half tops.
Yeah,
No,
we
I'm
got
sorry.
promoted like 2 weeks ago.
I haven't had a chance to read your backstories, which you certainly have submitted to me in the small amount of time that I've known you. So no, I don't
I'm
know
just
much
letting you know
about
if this is a thing that's been going on for a long time and you got like old generational fairy tales about this thing. We can do our best, but we're kind of
I mean, it's something
inexperienced
that
ourselves.
popped up over the years. It's just sort of a legend of the area, but it's been the last week or so where these things have been happening and it's being reported as being from the Blood Knight. And I'm not a criminal investigator. I am a pencil pusher. I fill out paperwork. I make assignments. I report to my boss at the end of my days. That's what my life is like. I don't know anything about solving crimes. I don't know anything about murder scenes and so on and so forth. It's just not it's not up my alley. And when I went to ask my king for help, it was kind of a your region, your problem sort of thing. So I'm just kind of trying to figure it out the best I can.
So you legitimately just need help, so you try. I mean, you know what? Why don't one of you guys talk to him?
If you,
Future reference,
I mean,
honey,
in
not
fairness,
vinegar.
I came across you with a very large group of guards that all saw a handful of individuals covered, in a bloody scene. It's, I suppose the legal term for it would all be circumstantial, but to the eye, it appears that you were at the scene of the crime when it was discovered. It's not me saying, well, oh, you're random people, I want to pin this on you. It was, you were here in a fresh murder scene when we came across you that we can't 100% say is the same person who did the other crimes, but they are similar in the way of I assume
Well,
that
Mr. Reeve, I just want you to know you could have just asked for help.
Honey instead of vinegar catches more flies, Reef.
I mean, I did ask for help instead of pushing it to trial. That's
Well, I think
the-
we have some kind of an accord. Our man gets a reprieve, and we'll go try and retrieve this Blood Knight for you.
yeah.
Sure. I can provide you with the information of the most recent crime scene if you'd like.
If
Give
we
me
could,
some nights.
We don't need knights.
Do you have any knights?
We had
Spare
skeleton
knights?
Like 3.
Well, I don't necessarily know if they're spare, but I could send a couple of soldiers with you if you feel you need extra hands, by all means.
I mean, from your point of view, wouldn't it make sense to send them with us to know that we don't just say we're going to help you get our friend and get out of here? Sending an escort with us makes sense.
I feel that Mr. Loki here has been nothing but honest with me and has been very open, and I trust that he will do the right thing. Especially having his information, I could reach out to his boss and let him know that he's a suspect in a murder if he chooses to abscond from such region.
which
right,
would be
keep you
disproven by a zone of truth, but to get past this situation that we're all clearly not avoiding and leaving, if you could give us 2 sets of lodgings in the tavern as well as use of your library to be our head of information gathering, we'll get right on it.
By all means, certainly we'll get you some rooms in the Boar's Head. It's the best inn in Bonesaw, of course. And you're
so
free
glad
to
that
use.
my slip. I'm so glad that my slip of calling it the Boar's Head one time has just entered Hooley's brain forever.
Well, it's Boar's Tusk. It's Boar's Head is meat, and I am chubby and like food, so it's what keeps popping in my head. They have delicious roast beef. So there's that.
Speaking of, we do have another member. I can go look for her if you want.
Oh, well, whoever you have, you're free to use the library. I tend to usually leave the office about 6:37 in the evening, but you can come back in the morning. I trust that you're going to manage this properly. I just can't turn over the keys to the tower, of course, you know. But feel free to borrow any books that you think that you need before you set out, of course.
Right.
And the rooms at
Loki?
the inn, of course, are going to be provided.
Loki, you've been here hanging out for a little while. Are there any books here you want to take with us?
I suppose I would have been looking around until the others got here. Would I have found anything of any use?
The Blood Knight and where to find them?
101 Blood
find-
Knights and where to find them?
Where's the Blood Knight?
Where in
to
the
hunt
world
down-
is the Blood
How
Knight?
to Hunt Demons for Dummies.
I was honestly, I already have
I need
2
that
books
one.
I need to read in my bag.
You
It's
find a not necessarily a book, but maybe more like a codex that has a story of the Blood Knight in it, of course. And then you find some information on some local knights of legend that you could potentially look through if that was something that interests you.
If there's nothing else, yeah, because if they're Knights of Legend, they're Knights of Old, and they might know something about it.
Yeah, we can go grave robbing for cool shit.
Great guy.
Whatever gets us moving forward.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Scrimmy hasn't looked me in the eye since they first saw me not wearing my Grey Warden cloak, so...
Yeah, Scrimmy straight up just left again. I'll be back.
Loki, you're a library dude. If you want to see if there's any information in the Knights of Legend that could potentially give information, you can definitely do that.
I absolutely will.
Yeah. So you find a passage about a famous local knight, Sir Hugh, who gave his life around a century ago to defend the lake's inhabitants against bandits and creatures of dark. He had taken an
Who
Oh,
has
no.
done
What did Sir...
Their...
Wait, we
Did
lost
I
you.
cut out?
For a second.
Yeah, yeah, cutting in and
He had
out.
taken a what?
The tales of Sir Hugh Mungus were cut off.
Now they had Hugh had taken an oath to the ancient water spirits that dwelt in the Lake of Twin Waters. Though he perished shortly thereafter, his corpse was divided into 5 pieces, which retained their connection to the spirit's mystical powers and carry on Sir Hugh's unfulfilled oath. The remains are now venerated as sacred relics purported to protect the lake.
Cool, so we are
And
going
I
grave
will
robbing.
remind you that your investigation of the bodies when you initially came across them, all of them were chopped into 5 pieces,
Oh,
which is
shit.
probably what made the connection for Loki when he was reading through these things of why that might be some important information. You know, archaeologist and all that, or
I know I said
anthropologist, whatever the fuck.
I know I said we
Criminal.
dealt with freaks, but golly, this is weird.
That feels like a really specific bit of local
This is
legend.
freaky. This is freaky behavior to go, this guy took an L fighting water spirits, so we're gonna chop him into a pentagon of pieces.
Not
It's
fighting them,
spread
taking an oath to them.
Oh yes.
They're
excuse-
hugely generous.
But like this feels like an oddly specific lore, considering we have fairy tales about the Blood Knight.
Yeah, it was even
Like-
bookmarked in this scroll, so it seemed pretty relevant.
Yeah.
Maybe the secretary marked it.
Maybe
and
maybe
being
the
a little
Reeve
bit more
knows where
aware.
these relics are. We can start there.
Sounds
we
good to
should
me.
Look for a book about the relics.
I could continue looking. I'm sure I have expertise in the Dewey Decimal System by now, so it should be a breeze.
Yeah, you kind of know a little bit of the information about Chernalt in itself, that it was the old elven kingdom. It is a land full of spirits, and the elven connection to the land was through the spirits. You know about the section of knights that protects the forest to the north of Chernalt, and their connection to the spirits as well, which I can't remember the name of the section of knights, but I have it in my notes somewhere and I'll tell you later. But it's at the Grove Maze. There's a group of knights that sort of protects that, and this land all used to be elven land, and they're kind of now condensed down to Tola Mill, and so that kind of like nature magic is inherent in the lands here. So that's why I think the bit about the spirit of Sir Hugh what stuck out to you, especially the 5 pieces thing. But you did get information on the most recent crime scene from the secretary who had put it under your cookies, and also the Reeve did offer to give you that information as well, not knowing that you already have it. So you could start there at the fisherman's camp if you want, or any of the other kind of locations near the lake.
How many incidents do we already have details on? Just the 2?
You're only offered the most recent one, but he mentioned that there were several. So
okay,
I would say probably 4 or 5
gotcha.
in the last week.
In the last week? Oh, jeez. Okay.
And sorry if you already said this, but this lake that Sir Hugh was protecting and that the spirit protects, is that anywhere near here?
Yes, it's the lake that this village sits on.
Oh, all right. I think it has something to do with this, folks.
Really?
Maybe we should go to the fishing camp where that happened. Maybe it's right on the water. Maybe most likely to encounter something.
Do you guys maybe want to go to the inn? I'll go find Grand and meet you guys there, and then we can head out.
I'm sure they hear us through Morgan, if nothing else.
Oh, that's true.
Or Scrimmy's tooth, right?
Currently, Grand is watching through Morgan while they stay within the bounds of the town, but yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Grand has sort of warged into Morgan at this point.
And I guess we can meet on the roadway if everyone's already equipped. I can get my things back and we can be on our way.
Yes, put your clothes on.
Yeah, they're in a chest in the Reeves office.
I will. Which way are we heading for this investigation?
Depends on where you want to go. To the fisherman's village? Is that where you're going to head first?
I think so,
That's
right?
the one we haven't been to yet, right?
Yeah, you haven't been there. It's the site of the most recent reported attack.
That's where Squirm would want to go, yeah.
So that way it is then.
So that is at the mouth of the Northwestern River. So the village of Bonesaw sits right on the lake. It's pretty much directly across the lake from where you're at. But there is like a path around to get there, so you don't have to get on the water if you don't want to. But you could take a little boat across the water if you so choose to try to do so.
Well,
I
if we're
like
worried
water.
about... Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna go get dressed.
Well, that's not a we have to go over the water. What do we know about?
This is your mission. If you want to go over the water, we go over the water.
We do have
That's how
two...
being captain works.
Two of us have boat proficiency, so
Exactly.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to the Mistwalker docks and get a little fishing boat and row out across the lake if you wanted to. Just
Nice
remember that the
walker.
fog is really thick and you don't exactly know where you're going, but you can definitely take a boat if you so choose to do so.
We can row us in a straight line. That can't be difficult.
Yeah, you guys tie me to the mast, and I'll be like the greatest lantern we've ever seen.
Works for me.
Or we could just
You're
go around.
put Loki in the crow's nest of a fishing boat.
Of the two-person fishing boat fitting 6 people, yes.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to see. We're not gonna be able to see on the road either if it's foggy.
No, but at least it's a clear-cut path that goes, right? Like a path to follow rather than going out on open water that you're not familiar with.
I guess the question is, how big is this lake? Like, are we talking Great Lake, or are we talking like what
Like, it's a
most
little
people
lake.
consider
like,
a
can I
lake?
see across?
Yeah.
It easily?
Not obviously not
Um,
without fog, or not with fog.
I'm gonna
but,
say probably closer to Great Lake because above the table there is an island in the middle of the lake, along
We should
with
go
some
around
other
it.
things.
Yeah, I think.
But so here's the thing: Great Lake is giant. Going around a Great Lake on foot, we're talking days of travel. Guys.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is true. Yeah, but how big is our boat? Like, are we getting a little tiny fishing boat? Or are we getting? Like,
Yeah,
a
it's just
medium
like a little.
vessel?
You would have to take several. They're little 2-man fishing boats. So you would have to look like they do in Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're on those little tiny rowboats, going through the fog. That's what you would essentially be doing. I will say that the path around the lake is on the more narrow side of the lake, so it's not as long as you would think. About a half a day on your horses.
Versus a whole day's travel on lake rowing.
Yeah, it would be at least a whole day's travel on top of.
We should take our horses. It'll keep us from being as tired.
Okay.
You can definitely do that by all means. I'm not saying don't go across the lake. If that's what you want to do, I'm just offering the information that there are.
As Scrimmy, would want to go on the lake, but with it being rowboats, Scrimmy would immediately say no. There's too many people to take rowboats.
You could very easily lose a boat in the mist, of course.
Unless we tied with each other.
All it takes is 2 sunk boats, and we got a fully new character party.
Exactly. Oh.
So we should get the boats, yes?
Super cool.
All right, guys.
All right.
I've gotten dressed and put
Final
on
call.
all of my equipment. Have we decided on a route?
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah, I think
Go
we're gonna
get your-
swim.
Oh, sweet! I'll take
Go get your
off
horse.
everything again. So
I
we
have
can
water.
get-
I have water breathing. No.
I'm technically
Okay.
just a big lizard, so
So let's get the horses. Lizard man.
I don't know. Is our friend taking a horse?
I don't have a horse. I have a giant lizard.
We have an extra horse. You can have a horse.
I know. I have a mount.
Oh, okay.
It's a giant
Yeah, is
lizard.
it your sub?
Oh.
I think you're Drake Warden, right?
No, I'm a
Oh.
fighter.
Okay.
I just swing swords. Thank you.
I did not realize that. I thought every time you said you don't need a horse was because you were just going to walk. That's why we were like, you're okay.
Yeah, I thought you were saying you are
mean-
a giant lizard.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
well, I mean, I'm a giant dragonborn riding a giant lizard.
I gotta ask,
That
Kale.
tracks.
Is that a relative or a friend? Or...
Oh.
You can't say that. You can't say
I
that.
will
You
just
can't say
look
that.
since I'm like every toll just
Once
stare
you
down
get
at
dressed-
with a blank look. No,
And you go to
it's a
head
fucking
out. The Reeve, he has on like the little shelf in his room this lantern, and it looks very intricately carved. It is a bullseye lantern. It's not currently lit up, but inside of it you see this sort of crystal, and he taps on the side of it with his pen, and the crystal brightens up, and he gives it to you and tells you this should help see through the mist a bit better. I don't care who puts it on their sheet. I will tell you the technical name of it is the Everbright Lantern.
Oh, sweet! We got 2 of those now.
I didn't know you already had one. All right.
Yeah,
well,
we got
now
one
you
for
have
our very first mission. Hell yeah.
There you go. Now you have two.
They got 120 feet of bright light, guys. We're gonna be
So whoever
impossible to stealth.
I can probably hold it the up like this, but I don't know if it would help because I am 8 feet tall.
Well, it'll be good. You have two. You can have one at the front and one at the back. It gives
That's what I was
you
thinking.
60 feet of bright light around you and 60 feet of dim light past that, which, even being ever bright through the mist, it'll be cut in half, but it's much more distance than a regular lantern would provide you a range of vision as you go. That lantern was my grandfather's, so take good care of it. If you don't want to keep it when you're done, I wouldn't mind having it back. But if you decide to keep it, I'd understand.
I am keeping this.
We have one.
Yeah, we already have one.
Yeah, but this one's sentimental.
That's true.
And
This one is,
which makes
Emotional
it inherently more
damage.
valuable.
it is sentimental to Kale, so we'll have to think about it, Reed. Thank you.
Kale really wants it really bad, guys.
Yeah.
Sentiment.
So he gives you the lantern, and you can head out, no problem, towards wherever you're going to try to find Grant, who I assume is going to pop up randomly meeting with you because Morgan knows what the gig is.
Yeah.
Do you
so
go by the
Grand-
inn first, or do you just
Grand-
sort of...
Grand, in the meantime, at the inn, has been trying to talk to that bard a little more, who told us the story to begin with.
The bard isn't there.
Suspicious.
He is the Blood Knight.
Never seen him and the Blood Knight in the same room. Just say that.
Never seen us.
We've
in the
never
Blood
seen a
Knight in the
lot
same
of
room
people in
either.
the Blood Knight in the same room.
Never seen the Reeve and the Blood Knight in the same room either.
You've
Never
never
seen
seen
Grant
Loki
and the
and the Blood Knight in the same room either, just
Yeah,
saying.
you know, honestly, I heard Reeve and I thought kill on sight after our Delving Beyond. So who knows?
No, but I did have Loki with me when we walked up on the fresh murder scene, so I know it can't have been.
Fiora and Loki can't be it. Everyone else is still.
I was gonna say,
under security.
arguably everyone in the party walked up to the scene with the party, so we know for a fact it's no one in the party.
Arthur's
Well,
pretty
also
then,
know
then
Grant
again,
has
you
a
just take on
lot
a
of
brand new
illusion
companion
magics.
that you don't know about their
Wait,
abilities.
plot twist? Can it be me without me even knowing? Because I don't know anything.
Unless you're
All right,
secretly carrying around
We'll
some
find
armor.
out.
But
We'll have
no.
to find out.
Then, yeah, I guess if the bard was not there, then I'll meet the party like at the intersection there between the
Yeah, that
road
like little square
heading out
area.
from the Boars. Yeah, that little square.
Yeah, by all means.
The first thing Gran does walking out is smack Fiora upside the back of the head.
Ian, what was that for?
I sacrificed 8 years of my life to keep you warm, and the first thing you do when you walk into a prison tower is rat me out that I'm with you.
I don't know if you really want to have this measuring game with me, Grand. Last I checked, I gave up my soul to make sure you had yours.
Last
Now
I
that that
checked, it didn't last
conversation's
me-
over,
Nice to be all that
All of
time.
us were all.
jaws dropped.
Got the tension in this area with a
All right.
button.
Well, then,
PvP engaged.
we were even, and now you owe me one.
Alright, I guess I owe everyone one. I owe you a goat, I owe you a something.
More than a goat.
I would like a cake.
We have a clear ledger, Fiora. I don't know. I don't think you owe me anything.
Well, now that that's settled.
Can we
So-
please just go to our horses? I don't want to be here anymore.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
You can get your horses, which were like tied up at various,
Oh, mine's at
Horse
the tower
or-
because I had to ride it all the way over. So
Yeah,
Horse is
yours
in
is
jail. We have to
Yeah.
get
he's in
the
horse
conversation.
jail now. He
So if you're
had
So-
another-
So I do
If you're-
recognize that you've all already voted, but I want to lodge that my vote would have been to abandon this city to their own troubles because they couldn't request Grey Wardens through proper channels.
Yeah, well, they stuck us.
I'm
now.
going to work with you, but I just want to lodge my complaint.
For what it's
Someone
worth,
is-
I agree with you, and my plan is if we ever come to that castle, I'm lodging a complaint about the Reeve for all the shit he's done.
Loki takes note of the voting.
I vote we go find this thing and kill it.
I think we have to help these people. We have the power. We'll sacrifice our time and get back to the mission after.
3 ayes, 2 nays, 1 abstention. Okay.
I do have the ability to contact spirits from another plane. It's a bit risky, so perhaps we keep that in our back pocket if we absolutely need it.
Contact spirits to
Ask
dead.
questions. Well, no, I can speak to the dead if I have their bodies. No risk necessary.
I feel like we should for sure keep that also on the back burner in case we need to get some extra.
I feel
meat.
like that should be our front burner, honestly.
Would that
Like
work
that-
on
if we
a
can get
body that's severed into 5 pieces?
5
Is
questions.
the head were the heads severed as well? I can't recall.
Yeah, it's head and then the 4 limbs, and then you got torso left. Well, I
That'd be
guess they
6
probably cut
pieces.
it off.
6 pieces.
It was the head with
I
a
was
little
just
bit of
gonna say that-
torso.
Cut
If the
the
head is
torso
attached to the-
pieces to.
If the head is
attach
attached to the
limb.
torso, if the head is attached to the torso, then I can speak to it. Or if the head is intact, even. I think I just need an intact head.
Well, when you come across the next bodies, by all means, go for it. It's probably like mid-afternoon-ish because you left in the morning to leave, and it's only been like a few hours through all of this to happen. Are you stopping at the inn for anything now, or are you just heading straight towards your fishing village destination?
I vote we just go and get this
Let's
over
just
with.
get there.
I
Yeah,
get it
okay.
over with, come
Oh.
back, report in, and we can be on our way.
Yeah, so you're gonna head out. If you look at the map, you're gonna head towards there's like a path on the north side of the village there. You're gonna pass a market, the ruins of a vineyard. You'll pass a set of stables that has farm animals for those of you who need to take note of that. And you will also pass a farmstead on your way. And then you'll be on the trail that goes around the lake itself. And like I said, it takes you about a half a day's ride to get to the fisherman's camp. There are other hunters and fishermen there when you get there, and places to set up like more tents and things. It's just like a ramshackle little hunter's camp, right? Like they've got, things set up to hold fish, like racks that hold fish, and some tents set up, and like a central sort of fire, and then the smaller fires and things like that. But it's just a small little place, and I say probably by the time you get there, it's the sun has gone down. But you're free to investigate now if you want, or sort of go around and talk to people if you want to do so.
I think I'd be best investigating the scene. Personally.
I'll join you.
I'd also love to see this speak to dead magic.
Yeah.
All right, we're all going to the crime scene.
It's gonna be cool.
Fiora,
I mean, if you don't want to come,
Fiora,
I
you're
get it. but-
quite talented with people yourself. Do you want to try to talk to the common folk? These are fishermen. They're along the lines of those you grew up with.
If you guys want, I can hang around and do some talking. I don't know if Kale wants to do that or go watch the fancy investigation.
Sure, I can follow you.
Pipe down, Dean Dog. So you're in the camp, but you're splitting in 2 different directions at the camp.
Yeah, Fiora and Kale will talk to the locals, and the others are going to do things.
All right. Once you kind of start going around towards where the people are, Fiora and Kale, you recognize a familiar voice sitting at the sort of central campfire. The bard who was in town this morning.
Oh,
Dale
perfect.
Run is his name, if you don't remember.
Perfect. He's like playing and doing a performance or something, or is he just by himself sitting there?
No, he's playing his medieval version of a guitar, which instrument name I probably should know, but I really don't.
Lute?
He's just
Lyre?
singing. Yeah, there you go. He's playing a sort of a mournful tune, but music nonetheless.
Fiora will move close to like observe the performance and pointedly like be in view whenever he looks up so he can see that she's here.
And I will just
Okay.
stand behind you menacingly with my arms crossed.
You want me to tell you the lyrics to the song that he's singing?
You
Yeah,
can.
give us some spoken
have,
word.
Have
Hell
I
yeah.
heard the lyrics before?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's up to your character if you've heard this before. I'm not going to sing it, but I will give you the spoken word version of it.
Damn poetry, let's get it.
High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghosts. The ones she had lost and the ones she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most. The ones who'd been gone for so very long, she couldn't remember their names. They spun her around on the damp old stones, spun away her sorrow and pain. And she never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave. They danced through the day and in through the night, the snow that swept through the hall, from winter to summer, then winter again, till the walls did crumble and fall. And she never wanted to leave, etc., etc. High in the halls of kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghosts. The ones she had lost, the ones she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most.
Shout out to Florence and the Machine, I guess.
Ours?
No flowers in the machine. I mean, they do
What-
do a version of it, yes. But
What coin does Kale toss, and why is it a single copper?
He doesn't toss anything.
it's not a witcher, so you don't have to toss a coin. You'd be all right.
Exactly.
Just a bard.
I mean, isn't that how bards make money though?
I mean, it is, but I had to travel with him for so long that he's kind of just bored me.
Oh, you know him. Good to know.
Well, we did arrive together.
Oh, this is that bard. Oh.
I don't think I realized that. Interesting.
This is Delirium. Huli even said it at like.
No,
the
I knew
introduction of this scene.
the bard. I did not realize that Kale and the bard like legit came in together. I just thought they happened to show up around the same time. It's a village.
I don't get very much company on the road, so yeah, I'll travel with literally anyone.
But yeah, Fiora's not gonna like interrupt the performance or anything, but she is trying to give a look like she wants to talk to him whenever he's done.
Yeah, sure. And he just is just kind of like playing, there's a fisherman or two sitting around, but most of them seem to be preparing to go in for the night, Up to you whether you've heard a bard sing that song before or not. Those of you who are off investigating, you can roll some investigation checks if you'd like. Oh. Am I back? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're
yeah,
frozen.
okay.
You're back.
Okay. Those of you
You're-
who are
you're-
investigating can roll some investigation check.
I'll get the help action from Morgan. 13.
Okay. If anybody else is wanting to roll, you can as well. You can kind of find the place where the bodies were found because none of the other fishermen are there near those tents. It's been kind of cleaned up, but I mean, they didn't scrub out any stains from the canvas of the tents or anything like that. So you can figure out the area that way. What did you say? You got a 13?
13
Okay.
for me.
Okay. Is anybody else rolling, or if I'm just giving it to Graham? I see Scrimmy got 11 there.
Oh, did we roll an investigation? I stepped away for a moment.
Yeah, yep. Investigation.
Oh, you got it. Let me get mine in. If it would roll. Alright, we're going to physical dice. It's taking too long.
That's
I have a
fine.
15.
15. Okay, yeah. So, Brand and Loki, your investigation's high enough. Scrimmy, your 11 is a little low. There's no body left there, but you can find where you can assume the body lay, given the rust color to the dirt. Since I'm sure you have a lantern with you, as it's dark. You can see some sort of looks like where there were a couple of different bodies in that area. There are a set of footprints near each of where you assume the bodies lay. And there's only one set of footprints near each of them, and they are rust-colored footprints. If you want to try to feel the soil, it's still a little damp under the top layer, and it pulls up a little bit of a darker than rust color. You can assume that it's blood. And you can see some slash marks in the dirt that are like spray pattern sort of slash marks, indicating 5 pieces being cut from how the bodies were laying as well.
I look around for a tent that still has a light by it or something around here.
There's like I said, there's a couple fishermen and hunters around, 2 of them sitting by the fire where Fiora and Kale are, and then a couple of other tents still have the lanterns on inside, but you saw people sort of turning in for the night, so your choice to approach them or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bother somebody at one of the tents that still has a lantern.
Okay. There's 3 of them.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick one at random and open the flap and peer in.
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3.
2.
Yeah, so you sort of gingerly pull back the
No, it's a
door
full I am throwing this open.
So you throw open the door of a gentleman who is undressed and changing into night clothes, who is very upset at you and starts to yell that you opened his tent without his permission.
We're here on the Reeves business. Be silent, man.
I won't be silent. You are rude. Close my tent so I can put some clothes on.
Put some clothes on and step out to speak. And I shut the tent and back out.
Right after that, the light inside the tent goes off.
All right, cool. I barge in and try to grab him and pull him outside.
Oh my god!
Awesome. What's your armor class?
Right now it is a 16.
Okay, cool. He punches you right in the mouth for
Okay.
putting your hands on him.
All right. I'm still going to grab him and pull him. I'm trying to grapple him.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your grapple check, I suppose.
That's a 0. It's a natural,
Okay, you
natural
don't-
1 -1.
Yeah, you don't grapple him.
Where are the
But
bodies?
others in the camp start to come around now, hearing the kerfuffle, and they're not very happy, and they're all brandishing their hunting weapons, whether it's bows or knives or such. And the welcome that you were initially going to receive is rescinded.
I think the commotion would be like just before everyone started getting on brandishing would have pulled Loki over at the very least. I don't know if the others will keep investigating, but Grand, what are you doing?
Finding out where they took the bodies.
You can't do that by force.
The man wouldn't answer my questions. I gave him a chance to get dressed and come out, and he didn't.
These fine people were just attacked. You can't expect them to not be a little defensive and evasive of strangers in their homes.
What did Fiora say earlier? Put honey in your vinegar. Honey up
Fine.
that vinegar.
Fine, you want to see the honey? And I'm going to wait until as many of the hunters have gathered around as I can.
Kiss is the closest one.
No, I'm going to activate Fey Presence and try to charm people.
All right, so I guess we'll pick up next session with that.
You can do a lot with an army of fishermen peasants. I like where this is headed.
That's that. We'll see everybody back next week.